Gentleman yields. I recognize Chairman Bishop for questioning for 5 minutes.
Mr. Johnson, since the Biden administration ordered a stop to the border wall construction that was in process, as you've described, what has the Biden administration done to protect you from the consequences that you've described?
In our area, the only thing that has changed is there's been one of the fixed integrated camera towers put in, and then they're also discussing putting in a rescue beacon on our ranch that will help migrants so that they get lost and give up. They can push a button on this rescue beacon, but I'm not quite sure what that has to do with border security.
How has that helped you?
It has not.
I was interested. Would you elaborate a little bit more? You said that people would come across here in camo?
Yes, sir, and it literally looks like a military invasion in the sense that they're all wearing the same camouflage, the same boots, the same backpacks, the same booties to conceal their foot tracks. They do not want to be caught.
Is this something that's happened only once or twice, or is it a pattern?
It's a pattern that started probably in the last, probably about 8 years.
Whose responsibility is it to protect you from that?
Last I thought, it was the United States government.
Why should you be subjected to that kind of invasion across your private property simply because you live and own property at the border of the United States?
I thought I should feel just as safe and secure 300 miles inland than where I'm at 3 miles off of the border where my house is located.
Folks have opined on this panel, these guys up here are all experts, you know, that border walls, barriers don't work. Mr. Vitello, do they work? You seem to have had a fair amount of experience with that.
They absolutely work. Anybody that's been in the Border Patrol for more than 5 minutes knows that it's much easier to control an area when you have a barrier, technology, and the sufficient number of agents, plus access to the border to make it more secure. It provides an anchor for those agents to patrol and control area much more efficiently, much more effectively, and safer.
So how do these folks come up with this, or where's the expertise these folks are drawing on when they keep telling us border walls don't work?
I'm here to tell you that they do work. Spent a lot of time setting requirements, watching how it works, talking to agents, did a lot of planning around how we were going to protect that border, and they absolutely work.
So you've witnessed that they work to help interdict people who are crossing illegally. How about effects on communities adjacent to the border wall?
So it's a good question. So it's an anchor for all of the things you must do to control the border. I said earlier about overlapping deterrence. That's a good phrase for it. There is a particular community near San Ysidro, Chula Vista. Back in the 90s, before the national strategy and what Border Patrol was trying to elaborate across the southwest border, that was a lawless area. They had a chain link fence. Has been described by reporters, it was so badly overrun that it looked like a hammock. And just north of that area of the border was a no man's land. It was a big open area where nobody wanted to be. When the sun went down, bad things happened inside of that small canyon. After 1994, the initial fence that was talked about, the Vietnam landing mat, done by Border Patrol, very DIY project, but immediately after that barrier was installed, people started investing in that area just north of the border. Right now, if you go to that area, it has some of the best strip malls, outlet malls, restaurants, and homes that are worth multi-million dollars just north of the U.S.-Mexico border. 25 years ago, people would not go anywhere near that place when the lights were off, when the sun went down. And now it's one of the best neighborhoods in the region.
Mr. Johnson's family might be envious of that. Mr. DeSoto, what are the consequences for your business, for your family, of the federal government's unbelievably reckless means of curtailing this construction, ending this construction?
Thank you. The impacts have been primarily financial, stress-related as well. It's put a significant financial burden on our business. So we have,
Are you going to make it? Or are you going to fail?
I never like to quit. I like to think that we will make it. It's not easy though, but the reality is right now, it's fairly complicated. Our financial situation is fairly complicated. It actually involves the federal government and involves a Main Street loan. which is very difficult to deal with. The Main Street loan is not something I can go and renegotiate like I could if I had a bank. So my debt is with the federal government, which does not allow me to renegotiate. So it's not going to be easy to make it, to be quite honest. Yeah, that's the honest truth.
God bless you, sir. Mr. Johnson, your family as well. My sympathies are with you. My time has expired.